I'm feeling a little better today, and I was going to tell you some of the things that have been helping. Maybe it'll be useful to you. First, I want to point out that I'm wearing this great shirt my friend Terry got me, which says, I have two moods, namaste, and I will punch you. And I, I hate that that's true, but I really am kind of a black and white person. I'm working on that, working on being more gray. Gray's nice, she said, as she pulled back her gray hair. So I was thinking during meditation this morning, which I know is sort of like, whatever. I think during meditation. I think most people think during meditation. But I was thinking about like, what have I been doing to try to get into a better headspace so I can be better for myself and also hopefully a better like human being on the planet so that I can contribute toward healing and not add to the bad stuff. And I was thinking, it'll be really funny if one day I wake up in hell and it turns out my dad was right that I was going to hell and that hell is real and fate is real, or the radical Christian concept of intelligent design is real, and all this effort that I've been making to improve myself was simply a foolish waste of time. Who knows whose theory is correct. But for me, currently, I can't get behind that intelligent design, and I'm going to hell things. So what I do is I educate myself, I meditate, I find a lot of help, solace in, of course, in meditation, in education, in philosophy, in science, and, spirituality, although I prefer to call it Buddhist philosophy, whatever. We don't need to go too far down that path. But I was, so last week was a really, really hard week, and I already talked about that. And fortunately, one good thing is that I have cultivated this observer. So even though I'm not at a point in my life where I can immediately dismiss negative thinking or, keep it from coming in, I can catch it really quickly. I can identify, what is this feeling I'm feeling? I'm pretty good at that. And last week, the feelings that were coming up were, I felt like a lot of these intense feelings I felt during my last breakup, which was 3 years ago. By the way, that anniversary is coming up, and it's not a trauma anniversary. It's an incredible celebration for me, but it didn't feel like it at the time. You can't have hindsight in the moment. I thought it was terrible, best day of my life, really, now that I look back. But it took me a while to get there. So these emotions were coming up last week, and I was so stressed out. So a friend recommended this book, and it's about breakup. Technically, it's about like the breakup of a romantic relationship, but it can also apply to all sorts of things. Like I was thinking, we've all broken up with our usual lifestyle because of quarantine. I mean, things have changed radically. The book is written by a woman who's a grief counselor and an educator and an attorney. And I find that just like you can use the 12 steps in any area of your life, and in fact, this book is not officially 12-step based, but it's got a lot of that same sort of thing in it. I can use it for anything in my life. So I'm listening to this book now, and it's helping me so much. It's helping me to address a lot of past grief, which is something I've worked on in therapy for 20 years. It's got these really practical steps on, how to get a grip, feel better, get to acceptance, move on. And not surprisingly, the book talks a lot about self-care. So I'm doubling down on the self-care. And I wanted to say a few things, like she suggests that you journal. Now, I tell my writing students that all the time. And I do journal off and on, but it's been a while since I journaled. And yesterday I had a journal out. I was being interviewed for a podcast, and it was a journal about my last divorce or my last marriage, and it was so horrifying. The only good thing about that journal was it shows me how much progress I've made. When I have a backslide like last week, I think, I haven't made any progress in my life. Wrong. That journal was horrifying. So after the interview, I ripped it up and I threw it away. And I'm going to throw away some more journals too. This journal that I started yesterday, I got a little message showing up on my screen. It's driving me nuts. There we go. This journal I started yesterday, immediately after I wrote a few pages in it by hand, I started to feel better. I could identify how I was repeating an old pattern. It's helpful. Something else I did that might not sound like self-care is I sort of made this, it's not exactly pie, but it's kind of, here, let me just, so I had some leftover crust dough in the refrigerator for making quiche last week. I had some peaches, and I made the decision not to eat a pint of ice cream yesterday. I know, but I've been eating a pint of ice cream almost every single day, and I love it, but it makes my arthritis hurt. It makes my brain crazy. I am an addict. Whatever you hook me up with, whether it's ice cream or yarn or whatever, I exhibit addictive behavior. One place I exhibit addictive behavior that I think is okay is reading. So in addition to listening to this book about breaking up and applying it to like breaking up with old patterns and stuff, I downloaded How to Be an Anti-Racist and White Fragility. These are two books that are super recommended to educate us about racism, and I really want to work on that. And of course, some of you know yesterday I got roller skates. Self-care doesn't have to be about spending a lot of money, but the idea is that doing physical activity really helps me to move out of the negative thinking and just be present. So those are my thoughts for this morning. How are you feeling today? Are you doing something to take care of yourself? Just checking in. Let me know what's going on. Hey y'all, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you'll like and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this episode, I hope that you'll copy this link, share it with a friend, paint it on a wall, put it on your social media. That'd be great. Thanks a million. Take it easy.